Well, the question is, protesting, does it work? You bet it does. But that being said, you got to watch for how you protest, how many numbers you got is part of it, but also watch out that you're not being led around by the nose by a false leader. That's one thing that the powers that be, if you want to call them that, they realize that protesting does work, that they're scared of the people when they're trying to put the screws to them. So what they always try to do is shrewdly set up false opposition. And in other words, that's a mixture of truth and garbage, and it channels and focuses the opposition. That's the one thing you got to watch for, though, and I think I point out where I think false opposition is quite often. But the reason I'm saying protesting does work is because in Egypt, they've had the largest protest ever in the history of their country, and the government, per the Egyptian military, who is now on the side of the military is on the side of the people, has said that the government has 48 hours to meet the demands of the people, which is it's probably less than 48 now as I speak. It says Mohammed Morsi is not going to be able to enforce this Sharia law. The people in Egypt do not want the strict religious laws of the Muslim Brotherhood. As a matter of fact, a lot of protesters trashed the headquarters of the Muslim Brotherhood, the largest and most political party in the country. Now, there's another thing that's going on, and I don't know what it has to do with this or not, but they had 30, they said they cited approximately 30 Egyptian tanks near the Gaza border, near the Gaza Strip. So I don't know, I don't know if that has anything to do with this or not, but it's actually another unusual incident that's occurring right now. But it does prove that protesting can work, just that you have to really watch and be very... See, in other words, the people on the top that are trying to stay in control or whatever, that are doing something to screw everybody over, they do know that protesting works. They're scared of the people, they're scared of being overthrown, they're scared of coups and all this garbage. So the best way to keep the control, and they've done this in the communist nations forever, is to have false opposition leaders come out. It's like kind of like give them what they want, but channel it and focus it a certain way, not where it's really going to harm them. So that's the one thing I have to say is to beware of protest, because even the Occupy Wall Street movement has been co-opted a long time ago by big money. So when you're out there protesting what you thought was protesting, you weren't. That's one problem with that. And I guess if you're really protesting a banking system, or that, is to take your money out of the banking system and don't deal with them because they can't make any money off of fees. That's the silver. And if you keep fiat paper, fine. That's one way to protest the financial system. But it looks like this is the largest protest. It's a fact. It's the largest protest ever in the history of Egypt. And we all know who actually has put forth this Muslim Brotherhood, who backed it. It's the West and actually the Obama administration. So, this is per Lindsey Williams. But I'll give you, and I think this is really, he's right on the money with this garbage, though. But he's not somebody I'll listen to, but the shrewd tactic of this is probably correct. The West is probably the money power that really makes the influence behind the policies of foreign policies in the Middle East. The money power in the West, which is a lot of it is oil. I think it's not so much that they want so-and-so in control or so-and-so in control or this one in control, is they want to create as much havoc and problems in that region and let the whole region just get destroyed pretty much and go up in flames. And that way, once they have their oil production on in the United States domestically, it's going to be worth that much more money. It's almost like, you want to look at it this way, it's akin to the plot in the Goldfinger movie in James Bond, where Goldfinger was going to nuke the gold at Fort Knox, make it radioactive, and his gold would be worth that much more. It's almost like that thing. In other words, if all the oil in the Middle East has become unavailable to strife and wars and and oil refineries start going up in smoke and stuff like that, and the production in the United States is already way up, and they can meet the demand and export oil to the world, they will do so at a very high rate of charging them a very high rate. That may be the game. I shouldn't say this on here because I don't think Lindsey Williams quite explains it right anyway, but I could tell that probably would be the devil's game. But my point on this is protests do work. They do work. Just that do not be led by false opposition. And I'll give you an example. What turned out to be very much false opposition was Occupy Wall Street. And I was saying that from the beginning. And a lot of people were getting mad at me. But protesting does work. And you could do it in various ways. You don't necessarily even have to take to the street. It's like if you're protesting the financial system, as I said, you could take your money out of the financial system. That's another way of doing it.